Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Yao. Now I'm presenting my paper, The Evaluation of Hong Kong Student Perception of Online Teaching Practice in Higher Education. So this is my aim to investigate Hong Kong student perception of online teaching practice in higher education. This is the objective, to study student factor, technology factor, student perceived usefulness and ease of use, personal background, etc. Okay. So because the COVID-19 these 2 years, so actually online teaching becomes more popular, especially the Zoom, something like that. Okay, there's a research question. Do student personal background, such as gender, age, will affect the online learning experience? The second, what is the relationship between the factor in the technology assessment model, TAM, and the online teaching practice? The third one, what is the attitude of the student toward online teaching practice? Okay, for the significant, how to improve the quality of education if we use, for example, Zoom for the teaching, okay? So here, the literature review, this actually, you can see that this one, trends 2020 have developed the online teaching, okay? On the other hand, for the educational world, last year, to evaluate the COVID-19 after providing the Zoom for the teaching. Okay, this one, the Zoom is very popular in Hong Kong, so everybody uses the Zoom for the online teaching, including the primary school, secondary school, and university. So here, you can see that Zoom is very free to download and have a recording, so it is very popular in Hong Kong. So this is a TAM model. It was developed by Davis in 1989. So here, and then I tried to develop the hypothesis, okay? So actually there's a perceived usefulness, PU, and the perceived ease of use, PEU, okay? So this is another model, information system success model, okay? This one developed by the McLean, 2002 and 2003. So, and then I combine the model. Okay, this is my new model for my research here. Okay, this one, there's a hypothesis here. So there's a 10 hypotheses. The first one, there's a 10 hypotheses. So I use the questionnaire for the survey. Okay. So I collect about 200 completed questionnaire from the university. So I use the factor analysis, factor loading, t-test, ANOVA, and correlation coefficients. So here you can see that the first one, male student rates higher in PEU of online teaching practice is supported. So that's been actually the result show that the mean of the male is higher than the mean of the female. Okay, the second hypothesis. So actually, the engineering and science student get a higher mean on PEU compared with some other department. So here, for the correlation, actually from some research literature review, if the correlation coefficient is greater than 0.5, I suppose this is strong correlation. So you can see actually there's the correlation between the factors. So here, the third hypothesis. So actually you can show that the TF, technology factor, has a positive effect on the perceived usefulness PU. So hypothesis 4, the relationship between the technology factor is positive effect on the PEU, okay? The fifth hypothesis, the relationship between SF and the PU is negative. This one is negative. And then this one, hypothesis 5, student factor has a positive effect. The value of the correlation is quite low. There's only a little bit positive correlation between these two factors. Okay, for this one, the relation between PU and PEU is strongly positive. Okay, the eighth hypothesis, the relation between PU and ATT is strongly positive. The ninth hypothesis, PEU between the PEU and ATT is strongly positive. Okay, the last one, there's a positive relationship between ATT and BI. Okay. So this is the final model. You can see the correlation between them is shown in the hypothesis. Okay, so for the discussion, actually, you can find that the male student is more enjoyable to learn using the internet compared with female. Okay. So on the here, sometimes some students still like to use the face-to-face discussion more than the online, because some students can ask the lecturer face-to-face about all the questions. So here, for the student factor, you can see that you can get the higher standard deviation. Okay, is the reason. Okay, here. About the attitude, you can see that the attitude of the student is quite positive on the online teaching. Okay, for the perception, you can see that the quality of the technology used in the online teaching should be very good. Otherwise, the student do not have any satisfaction. Okay. So for the future work, maybe you can increase the sample size, or you can do it in the primary school or high school to check what is the result compared with the university student. Okay, thank you very much.